Welcome to Gaming Daddies, the podcast where fatherhood meets the digital grind. I'm Jay, one of your 3 gaming daddies, and each week the 3 of us sit down to talk about the games that we're playing, how we balance gaming with family life, and the big conversations happening in the gaming world. Today's episode is a special spooky episode of Gaming Daddies where we talk all things spooky games, what the evolution of spooky games were like from our childhood, what games are getting it right, and where it can go in the future, plus more. So grab your controller, clear out the cobwebs, grab your favorite Halloween candy, or maybe just your one free spooky hour of peace and quiet, and let's hit start. Boo-ha-ha.
Hey, 10 out of 10 over here. I don't
Let's
care what
go.
Heather says.
Let's get scared.
Boys, we're back.
We're back.
We're back. Welcome back, Gaming Daddies.
It's good to be back.
We have returned from the great beyond. Ooh.
And with, Jarrett's favorite topic, scary
Spooky
games.
Scary. It's going to be a truly horrifying episode for him then.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
I thought about like dressing up in costume for this. And then I thought, I'm too tired for that. I'm just too tired for that.
Yeah, it's fine. This is our costume. We're ready.
I'm on the naughty list.
Too soon.
Already bringing out the Christmas.
Too soon. Too soon. Tracy Lawrence.
Oh,
Nice.
that's spooky. That's country.
That's
The worst music genre.
So it feels like forever, gentlemen. Where have we been?
Pooping.
Like, what'd you say? Pooping?
He said cleaning up the poop.
Facts indeed. That's its own horror story. That could be its own interactive spooky game.
Oh, no.
I had
The sin
reliable
nobody
intel.
wanted.
Yeah. I'd received reliable intel in our time away that we had been invaded and taken over last week. What is this nonsense?
I thought it was great. Fantastic.
Yeah, they did awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, so we had our, for those of you that are just joining us, our wives took over last week's episode and recorded their own. So it was like, gaming wives or gaming mommies or, whatever spinoff title you want. And we had you guys were away. You were out of state, and I forget what I was doing. Time is relative to whatever. I'm good to remember what month it is generally. But the wives took over. They invaded and had their own episode. It was like the tell-all and all that stuff. And so, but no, it went really, really well. Thought they both did wonderful. Looking forward to more invasion episodes on down the line. So that's awesome. So, and then last week, Tedder, you got sick.
Mm-hmm. Oh, big time.
F's in chat for Tedder. Is that what kids say? Is that what it is? F's in chat?
I don't think you can say that.
You can't? Okay, cool.
I don't
P's
know.
and B's.
I don't know what that means, so.
Peace and blessings. That's what that means. So are you healed? Are you healed?
Yeah, we were, well, Ellen and the child had COVID, and then I was afraid I got the COVID, but I did not have the COVID.
Oh.
They couldn't tell me what I had, but I was down for the count. And then, I had, woke up one day and just had, ulcers in the back of my throat, and it was just, couldn't swallow, couldn't do anything. So it was just it was great. It was a great week.
Oof.
But nothing some antibiotics and some steroids can't fix.
And about 80 hours of sleep.
Didn't
Are you
get
a
that.
sleeper when you get medicined up?
Oh, yeah. I'm a sleeper when I'm not medicined up.
That's fair. That's also true. So has anything, before we jump right into our topic for the week, did y'all get to do any type of gaming at all in the past couple of weeks or anything like that?
Mm-hmm.
Tedder, you did? What'd you get?
Not
Yote?
a lot. Oh, yeah. Yep. I finally got Yote. So I got about 2 hours of Yote.
Yeah.
And I can tell it's definitely a game that if I have the time, I'm going to 100% that game.
Really?
It's just walking around and exploring. Now, I may get inundated 30 hours in and go, okay, I'm ready for this game to be over. I don't know. But the first 2 hours, man, I was just I want to explore every nook and cranny of it. It is such a good visual game. It feels really good to play. The combat feels really natural. So it's really great. But I mean,
Cool.
again, I'm 2 hours in, so I really haven't dove too deep into the well.
So the overwhelming consensus from reviews that I have seen or read is that this one is a stark improvement over Tsushima. Would you agree with that?
I'm not deep enough in, but at the same time, I gave I gave Tsushima 10 out of 10, and it was my favorite game. So, I mean, a stark improvement is strong words. If it's improved, I'll love it even more. But I mean, I didn't have any complaints about Tsushima, so.
Oh, well, I'll be excited to hear what your overall thoughts, your final thoughts are. So to be continued on that one. Jay, did you get to do any gaming at all?
Not much, but I will say I'm still digging into Mirage.
Still enjoying it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Well,
just pushing through the campaign,
Jay did get to experience some Battlefield 6.
That is right. I completely forgot about that. Yes. The campaign is fantastic. I am not a multiplayer guy. I know there's going to be a lot of haters out there on that, but the campaign is very worthwhile. It was very enjoyable.
I'm very interested in that. I'm not much of a multiplayer shooter anymore like I was back in college days, but like now I'm more of a campaign kind of guy, so I'm kind of there with you. So
well, it left me wanting more for sure because it ends on a cliffhanger like a lot of those games do.
For sure.
So
sure,
it's worth playing. I mean, I think it's on Game Pass.
Yeah.
So no harm, no foul.
No harm, no foul.
If it was no good, if it wasn't really any good, it wouldn't have been that big of a deal.
Yeah.
But it was worth the download.
Cool. Speaking of Game Pass, how are we feeling about the new price? Is it worth holding on to Game Pass, or is it?
Okay,
or are we gonna let it go?
And I feel like this is, I think we could make an entire episode out of subscription-based services in the future. But like my 2 cents on it is we have a Game Pass. I think we have Ultimate for Nicole's Xbox, and I think I can access it from my PC. I don't know. I'd have to do a little bit more research, and been paying $20, and so the jump to 30, just like it was kind of like the initial gut punch was like, oh my God. So I gotta figure out if I can access the Game Pass account on my computer and use it as well. Because if I can, then I can justify keeping it. But if not, that's tough bananas, man. That hurts.
Yeah, Ellen went ahead and canceled hers, and honestly, they were doing the math on GameScoop, and I kind of agree. I mean, $30 a month, and let's say that I play a day one game once every 3 months on Xbox. At that point, I might as well just buy the game and then I have it permanently. Now, if I'm playing a day one game, something new every month, then sure, it's worth it. But I mean, for me, I don't play Xbox very much. $20 I could justify. 20 for each of us, I could almost justify. 30 for each of us, I can't, and I don't even know that I can justify 30 for myself. So
yeah. That's a tough one for sure, and that'll take a lot of reassessment. So again, for me personally, I got to see if I can be able to use it on the old computer before pressing forward on that. I've been playing. I've gotten a little bit further into Borderlands 4, but my gaming sessions here recently, especially the past couple of weeks, haven't been long enough for me to like justify starting it and actually making any meaningful progress. It's been more like short burst gaming between, school and extra school stuff and then other commitments plus taking care of Noah and stuff. So I've been having to do short burst gaming. So I've gotten back into Enter the Gungeon, which is a roguelike, top down 2D shooter. It's a really cutesy game. Everything in there is gun related, and enemies are like gun related, and all the guns are really fun and cool to use. And you have these 4 what they call gungeoneers, and the premise is just TLDR is each person is there to go and kill their past. And so they have to craft this bullet and then find the gun that can kill their past. You go back to the past and you correct whatever they did wrong, and then boom, you're done with that character. And I've just finished up all 4 characters today. Finished the last one up today, so I'm doing an extra character, and then I could start my completion of that game. And it's very, very addicting. And so it's very easy to pick up and play. I can play a little bit even if I don't complete a run, which a run for me lasts probably about 35 to 40 minutes from start of run to end of run, like final boss type thing. But if I need to set it down, I can always toss my PS5 into rest mode and then just pick it back up and not worry about where I'm at. It doesn't really require too much thought on what to do. But that's pretty much it on my end. So, without further ado, our main event, spooky games.
Time to get spooky.
It's time to get spooky. So adjust your lighting, change into your costumes. I'm not, because we have a milk carton and a chocolate chip cookie, and I'm not wearing a chocolate chip cookie tonight. And let's just jump right on in. Let's start with our haunted history with spooky games. What?
You did not make Nicole become the milk, did you?
Actually, no. She made me the chocolate chip cookie.
Yeah.
Okay. Now that it's on my mind. So, she has these alarms. So when we have Noah on a feeding schedule, and we feed him at 6:30 in the morning, 10:30, 2:30, 6:30, and then 9:30 is when he gets his last bottle for the night. And so she constantly makes the joke whenever she's like pumping or whatever. When she's done, she just feels like a cow because she's just producing milk. Her words, not mine. No, I don't want to get attacked. So when she would finish, I would hear her in the other room, moo. And then she would make that sound. So on her phone for her alarms, she found an alarm that actually is a cow mooing. So that's how she knows it's time to feed Noah or to go and pump, and like a picture of an animated cow pops up on the screen too. It's really kind of cute. So, but yes, to answer your question, she was the milk and I was the cookie, and so there we are. So enough of digging my own grave. Let's start with our haunted history with spooky games. What were spooky games like when we were growing up, gentlemen, and did we play any of them?
Well, Jarrett, do you got anything to say?
So, well, okay. First off, a spooky game to me, I can tell you the game that and this is so funny, I love the Diablo series. When I was a little kid and I was playing Diablo 1 on PC, I could not convince myself to go down to the first level. I would just stay in town and I would just walk around in town and look at the shop, because that first level, even skeletons and it was really bad graphics. It scared the crap out of me. And then, you had your Silent Hills and stuff like that. The PC, the PS1 games and stuff. But I think I made it 5 minutes into it, and it's you get beyond the gate, and I'm like, nope. I just wasted my money. I'm going to go ahead and take this back. I'm not doing this. It's not going to happen. So, and then it's kind of what do you define as a spooky game? Because, I got really crazy one time in college and played BioShock with the lights out.
Okay. That's fair. So let's set the foundation. Let's define what we would call a spooky game. What are we labeling as a spooky game? For me, it's anything that contains jump scares.
Okay.
Your iconic slashers, and where I am barely surviving on a thread, anything, even just breathing funny is just going to cause my character to die, that kind of thing, spooky atmosphere type thing. So what are we defining?
Well, it's a good question. I want to say, okay, because my history with this stuff is going to go back a lot further than you guys, especially to the NES. I would probably say that when we were kids, it wasn't the full-on nightmare fuel that we've got now. I felt like games were trying to be scary more so than being scary. You have those old graphics and the old sound chips. I was doing a little research on this to kind of compare the newer spooky games compared to the older ones. And it was, you had those old pixelated faces and weird jump sounds. And like you were saying, the breathing sounds, the creepy, even looping the MIDI sounds, the MIDI soundtracks and stuff. It referred to it as accidental horror. And I thought that was a neat way to explain it, because it wasn't the intentional thing that you have out there now. So that was enough to keep me up at night back in the 80s. And the thing is, a lot of those games were based on movies or shows. You have a lot of these out that are now that are original and they're creative. So you'd see Friday the 13th or Nightmare on Elm Street for the NES. And I think, oh man, this is going to be awesome. And then 5 minutes in, you're throwing your controller, wondering what just happened, So, for me, just to kind of wrap this up into a little nutshell, Friday the 13th probably was the first one that I remember playing on the NES, the original one. You never knew what was going to happen. Jason would just teleport. He would teleport around, and you would throw rocks and things like this at him to try to shoo him away like an animal. It was the weirdest thing at the time, though. As a kid, I always thought that was kind of neat. And then Castlevania.
Ooh, that's a good one.
That was spooky done right. It wasn't really horror, but it didn't have jump scares, but it was a gothic adventure. You had Dracula, bats, creepy music. So that was kind of scary for its time. I think the very first game that I played that really just tanked me was Resident Evil. When that came out, when that hit the scene, that changed everything.
So iconic.
Yeah, the controls, the fixed the angles for the camera were fixed. You couldn't look around corners and things like that with that. And half the horror was just trying to walk straight, if you can remember how those controls were. And the first zombie cutscene is epic. It's iconic. Never seen anything like it. And then, of course, Silent Hill. Because I did have a PlayStation. I did have the first one. And that was another level. The fog, the sirens, the radio crackle when something was nearby. That creeped me out.
Then Pyramid Head.
Yeah. It was like the psychological dread horror before we even really knew what any of that meant. And then, of course, Doom. Even though I guess that isn't really horror flick or a horror game, it was creepy in a way, because if you were at home alone, the lights off, and that soundtrack's kicking in, and back then that soundtrack was rocking, and you're fighting demons from hell, and I mean that's about as Halloween as it gets, I guess, for me. And I just kind of jotted those down because I thought, okay, what were all the games that I played growing up, and that was almost, I would say, in order of those games that, and then of course Friday the 13th, the game or the movie that came out in 17 or 18 or something like that.
Something like that.
I couldn't play that again. I was telling Jared earlier that I tried to crack that open and play it again tonight, just a little bit before we got on here, and I was like, nope. No, not for me anymore.
I think thinking about my first time with horror games, I think this aligns more with how Jarrett was with his. Like Diablo was, I'm pretty certain, my first horror game that I ever experienced. And for a while, that was my brother's game playing on his PC. And for a while, when I would start a character, I would just want meander across town because I didn't want to go into the cathedral at all.
Right.
And then you definitely didn't want to go to the catacombs or into hell or anything like that. It just kept getting. And then the first time I encountered the butcher in the catacombs, and he's like, fresh meat, and I was like, oh no, I'm done, and so I just closed it out, and then I didn't touch it for a while. That scared the crap out of me. And that was my first, and I don't think I played Doom growing up. I think I got to Doom later on in life. I'm trying to remember what any other horror games I would have played, because I'm not a spooky game person, but I did try Resident Evil a little bit, and that was just scary, man. And with the dogs, the lickers, not the dogs, but the lickers that crawled up the wall and stuff when they first burst through the window in the first one and all that stuff. And then 3, I only played for a little bit because the idea of being chased by Nemesis just creeped me out so much. And then I've only ever played the first 10 minutes of Resident Evil 4 on the PlayStation, because that village, the opening area of the village with the chainsaw guy just scared the bejesus out of me all the time. You try to run away and he's just following you. You jump up on the roof, he's there. And all these guys are just like putting ladders and stuff. It was too much for me. And then other notable ones that just stuck out to me were Until Dawn, and then we'll get into that one probably a little more later on as we discuss various types of horror games. But Left 4 Dead, I don't like that game anymore now, but like when I first played it, The Witch, which I don't know was in the first one, I think it was maybe in the second one, but The Witch, you just hear this little girl crying. You can't really hear it, so you go and investigate, and you find her, and then she's crying, and then by the time you realize what's going on, it's already too late. She's just chasing you everywhere. So that's awesome. Not a spooky player much anymore, but they're still fascinating to keep up with. And what's really cool is that this genre is just a license plate graveyard. And for those of you in the audience that don't know what a license plate is, it's just another term for like licensed games, like for movies or TV shows or things like that. But like so many different licensed material that are in the horror genre, like Friday the 13th, have games for them. And I'm pretty sure like there's a Nightmare on Elm Street game somewhere out there, I'm sure. Halloween and all those different types of things, especially when the movies came out, because that was a big thing, is that when those movies were gearing up to release in theaters, they were trying to get companies to publish games and shove them out the door to correlate with the release. And even if they were complete and utter garbage and unplayable, they were out the door so they could align with the release of the films. So and I think you mentioned this already, was Friday the 13th any good, or was it, thinking about it now, is just like, no, that game was garbage? Like,
yeah, I would say it's okay.
Yeah.
I think at the time, it came out significantly later than the movie, because the first movie came out in 1970 something, right?
Yeah.
And then that game was much later. I would say several movies had come out by the time the first Friday the 13th game came out. And I think they were just trying to capitalize. They just wanted to try to make some more money. Here's a new outlet to try to attract people to the franchise. I would say, every studio wanted their own game. 90% of them were garbage. Monsters for NES had creepy music. Or gameplay was, it was a nightmare. Sorry for the play on words, but it really wasn't that good. There was and most of them were, I like to call them shovelware. Horror games. This is like, just bury it, because like there was a game called Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. It looked like a horror game, but you were just walking down a street being attacked by dogs and old ladies. Terrifying, but not for the reasons intended. So,
like
so Sunday
normal
after
life.
church.
Right.
Exactly.
Just like living life.
So
most of them, I can't tell you right now. I can't tell you one horror game that is first or third person. Okay, now we're not talking about the cinematic ones where you make choices, but I can't tell you one game that has made an impact on me that makes me want to dig it out and play it again.
Yeah. I think we're amongst friends here when it comes to that.
Yep.
A lot of those early games, like you said, shovelware is just like, there's just a crap ton of this. And you might, if you're really looking at it from like a historical standpoint or like quality, you might get a gem in there every once in a blue moon, but it's very rare. Jaws had a video game. Would you consider Jaws a horror movie?
That's action.
Really?
I'd say action thriller, not horror.
I'd think of it as a scary movie.
Yeah, it scared me to death.
Yeah.
I was a little kid when that first one came out. And I do agree with Jared. It's definitely an action flick. If you think about the cast, if I were to look that up right now, the cast on any of the Jaws movies.
Yeah. The game, I remember the game, not that I played it, but it was just from watching videos over the past, couple years, like the gameplay was just kind of dumb. It played like a single screen arcade game, and it was very strange how it was done. So anyway, not to get too lost in the weeds on that. So moving on. So in our opinion, now that we've kind of had our history and kind of discussed what this was good, this was bad, what makes a spooky game successful, or what makes it just a bore fest? What makes a game scary? Let's just start with that. What makes a game scary?
Well, for me, it's not the jump scares. I know a lot of people are going to probably fall into that category. But to me, it's the uneasy quiet before something happens. Like a good horror game makes you feel alone. Like you're not supposed to be there. It's about atmosphere, the sound of a creaky floorboard, the flicker in the hallway lights, which going back to the Resident Evil game. Music it would disappear. I don't know if you guys remember that, but it seems like back in the day, the music would be going and then it would just fade out. And you're standing there and you're going, okay, what am I supposed to do now? Am I supposed to move forward? I don't want to move forward. So you're waiting for the scare before it even arrives. That was the most horrifying thing for me. Now, the older horror games had to rely on tension, I think, instead of graphics, because they didn't, graphic appeal wasn't there. Resident Evil used silence and those fixed camera angles that I mentioned earlier that I despised. It would build anxiety, but you couldn't see what was around the corner, like we talked about, and your brain filled in the blanks. It was just that magic at the time. It's not about what's on the screen. It's about what your imagination thinks is coming next.
Thoughts, Mr. Tedder?
Well, I think there's also a difference in how powerful you feel in the moment. Because if I'm playing a scary game, spooky game, or whatever, and I have a cheat activated where I have infinite health, infinite life, infinite ammo,
Yes.
like Doom, when I turned on infinite life and infinite ammo, that wasn't a scary game. That was a fun game. Same thing, like if I ever played, any of these scary games, if they had a Resident Evil that I could play through where I knew I was never going to get damaged, I didn't care how many times I was going to get hit, I was never going to die, it wouldn't be a scary game. It would be a fun game. But it's that dread of dying, dread of starting over, dread of the power difference. I mean, just one hit KO just makes you want to be more hesitant about walking in. And maybe it's less scare of jump scares as much as you're just scared of losing progress, scared of what's going to happen, or scared of having to redo 4 hours of gameplay. That's my biggest thing. Along with the fact that I don't do jump scares. I don't do creepy. I don't do I don't do gore very well. So, I mean, all of those things kind of go in it. Now, a game can be spooky and not scary. So I think those are two separate things. If we're just talking about what makes a game scary, then I think those things, like we said, jump scares, the dread of dying, the dread of losing, restarting, what creepy thing is going to pop up on the screen, anything like that.
Yeah, I agree with all your takes. And I think it's interesting to think about it from a creative standpoint, especially as you're looking at video game history from back in the day to now, and how they had to be more creative in the early days, because they had, like Jay was saying, they had to use different methods of setting up tension. You just, you didn't have some of the things you have access to now. So music becomes important to setting that up, the way you program your music, the way you compose your music to set up different scenes, and the elimination of music, something you're not expecting. And then when you have that cut off, it's like something's about to happen, I'm screwed type thing. Or you have crunchy chords and things like that kind of, build tension as it comes. And I think a lot of that setup, and I think this applies across all generations, is environmental storytelling. Like, I think the environment that the game or where you're at is taking place makes a huge difference. Whether it's pixelated or whether it's like full on 3D graphics, like lighting, shadow placement, like mood, what do you see, how is the room designed, and all, what do you have access to, and things like that. Those elements, when they're done really well, really kind of help. Just, they don't immerse you, they just drag you into it, and they make you live that. And so when you add to that, there's different, like, gameplay mechanics then become important. Like, I think of Alien Isolation. That does a fantastic job of environmental storytelling, because you're being stalked, and the gameplay mechanics add to that, because everything is dark and you have to go and hide in different things, and you have a heartbeat sensor and you can't make sound, and like all these other things. And like, that would just stress me out so much. And one wrong thing, and it's that feeling of power, like what your power level, like, you can't be powerful in a scary game because that takes it out. That just becomes, like Jared said, just a fun game, so it's that feeling of dread, that one wrong move and I'm literally done. And so and Resident Evil really does that very well. You have to, not only are you having to manage your ammo and your inventory, but there's limited things you can carry, and you have to make good choices, otherwise you're left helpless. And so helplessness in a scary game is super important. Are there any elements that you feel like are overused in games like this?
Well, I'm going to be honest. There are some overused tricks that just don't land anymore. For example, the jump scare every 30 seconds. I think that was one of the first ones when we got into the 90s and the 2000s. The creepy kids singing a nursery rhyme, or the found footage camcorder thing. It's been done. I can't imagine any of those games being successful now. And can we talk about how every horror game thinks turning the lights off automatically makes it scarier? Sometimes I just want to see what I'm running from, Like darkness is great. Like even in the Indiana Jones game that we talked about, you're down in the tombs and it's really dark and something is chasing you, but you don't know what it is. It's like, let me see it. I want to know what's chasing me. It's just also cheap shock value instead of atmosphere. So yeah, gore can gross you out, but it doesn't scare you. Scariest thing is when the game lets your imagination do the heavy lifting. So,
are there any games that you have played that had unexpected moments of scariness happen that actually kind of added to your experience playing the game? Since you brought up Indiana Jones, I wonder if there are any other examples.
Well, and I sort of remember, I'm having to go back quite a ways here, probably back into the late 90s, early 2000s, but I think the story is what separates good horror from gimmicky horror. For example, Silent Hill 2. I still think that's the gold standard. It's not about monsters. It's about guilt and grief, the real horror. Last of Us isn't technically horror, but it nails the emotional side of trying to be a survivor. You care about the people. You care about you even care about like all of the characters in that game, which makes the threat even scarier because you care. When you're invested in the story, the fear hits a little bit harder, a little deeper. And then we were talking about Until Dawn. It's just a playable slasher movie. But it works because it knows exactly what it's doing. It gives you choice, it gives you consequence. And that feeling that you could have saved someone if you'd have just made a different move or chose a different path. Those are the games. I don't know if I could say that, there's one game, but I do think each of those three games resonate with me that have the best stories.
Yeah, I would definitely have to agree with that. For sure. Especially Until Dawn, like that's unexpectedly really good because of just how much control you have. You have no control over the character. Like you're the narrator of the story pretty much. Like you guide how it happens. But just the overwhelming amount of decisions that you can make. And sometimes those decisions you have to make like right on the fly. Like you have zero time to think about it. It's like almost
where it does the countdown. You can see the bar running down. It's like, oh God, what do I choose? And you can't save the game. You can't. You're like, oh my God, I'm stuck with this. And then
you're locked.
Then
with it.
The girl dies.
And then, like, if I remember right, and correct me if I'm wrong, but like sometimes on the controller, like when you're having to do stuff with the controller, like sometimes the input fights you. Like it's hard for you to control it to do a certain action.
Where you're using like the left stick and you're moving it like the arrow towards that, and it's shaking because of your character's anxiety.
Yeah.
And you're living through that moment. I'm not gonna lie, I hate those games. I really do. I mean, there are things about the game itself that I like, but I hate not being able to go, so let me think about this a moment. And that's where like Until Dawn and some of those they're just not like a 5-star game. They'll always be like a 4.5 or 4-star game for me.
Yeah, I can agree with that for sure.
But I guess some people like it because Until Dawn has great reviews. I mean, I guess a lot of people love that anxiety. Anxiety is not my friend.
Until Dawn has like 180 different endings.
Yeah.
Just because every single decision, every button press has an effect on the game. So,
and I'm like you, Jay. Like I don't like having to make that decision in the moment without having time to actually like whip out the whiteboard and here's okay, if I do this, and this is going to have a ripple effect over here.
And I want to say Mass Effect or one of those games like that, as it got deeper into the different Mass Effect games, I want to say they had like that timed answer sometimes. Yeah. Maybe it wasn't Mass Effect, but it's like a space game, I remember.
That's the first thing I do when I go into video game is I look at accessibility and can I turn off quick time events?
Quick time events. I'm going to have to remember that. If that's an option to turn off, I'm doing it every time.
That's smart. That is smart. I think another one that deserves to be name dropped in this conversation would be Dead Space.
Oh, yes.
I forgot about that one. Super horror, especially as they remade them. I think those are the best games to remake because of just how much they improved upon it, and especially with like we were talking about environmental storytelling. They were able to do more with the processing power, so that just added more to it, and it was just super scary. I could never play those games.
I think the ambience in that game creeped me out more than any game I've ever played. Now that you bring that up,
just
Well, it's the
walking
same
into the
thing as-
room.
And
Go ahead.
Callisto Protocol was the same way too.
Yeah.
Basically the space, that environment where it's just a dead vacuum and you're the only survivor except for whatever creatures are around you. I mean, if you encounter something else, it's not friendly.
Right. And not knowing what happened or what's going on, and you have to go and like find those logs and things like that, and just get and really you can read as much about the story as you want, but a lot of it is left to your imagination as to what really happened and like how it happened and things like that. So I think that really adds to that. Whew, good conversation so far, I think. So when we get to our personal experiences with scary games, we've already covered games that scared us the most. For Jared and I, that was Diablo for sure. For me personally, it did not foster my love for scary games at all. As a matter of fact, I make a concentrated effort not to play scary games unless it's like Diablo. I mean, that's not like, that doesn't scare me anymore, but like, things like Until Dawn, things like, what was the one I just met? Dead Space and stuff like that. I make an effort. Silent Hill, I don't play with it. I'm like, no, you're good. I'll watch someone on YouTube play it if I'm really interested in that.
Oh, Senua. The
yeah,
Hellblade.
Senua, Hellblade, yeah.
Yep.
Ooh, that's a good one too.
Oh
that's
God, I had to watch that one
example.
on YouTube. I couldn't play it.
Yeah, I know that's another one of those. It's not really even combat heavy. It's more narrative driven, isn't it?
Well, and she has schizophrenia, and the voices inside of her head constantly going. So that's that thriller, psychological aspect of it.
It does a fantastic job of of painting those visuals too. So, that's a really good example. Yeah. So yeah, with us, the trifecta, I don't think we have a love for horror games anymore. Let's see.
Nope.
Never was.
So when you did play back when you were a young lad or when we were young lads or whatever, and we did play scary games, did you have any rituals that you would need to do? Like, if I'm going to play a scary game, I play it only during the day, or the lights have to be on, or my wife has to be home, or something like that. So,
well, I've always had a rule: never play a horror game alone at night, at least not with the lights on. I think the very first one that I played was it wasn't Silent Hill. It was Resident Evil. And that was the first time that I actually was able to put headphones on and ran it through a stereo system. And the lights were off because somebody told me I should do that. Stupidest thing ever. But it was playing something creepy is what that was. I had to turn on like a sitcom after just to reset my brain. But there's something about playing with headphones that takes it to another level. I'm just going to be serious. Like you can hear things behind you even before they were able to create that space. You're physically turning around your living room. You're like, is that footsteps? Is that happening outside right now? Do I have company? Right. And then sometimes you just got to pep talk yourself through a scary section. Like, okay, Chipman, it's just a hallway. It's just pixels. Then you turn the corner and boom. That's the moment you get too scared, but you keep playing because you're just too proud to quit. That's the real experience, I guess.
Well, and it was the same thing. There was, I remember when Final Fantasy 15 came out, it was chapter based, and you got to chapter 13, and chapter 13 was like you were walking through these halls, and this thing would come up and grab you. It was really scary, and it took forever. I mean, it was like the first time I played it, it took me 2 hours, I think, to get through it, and it kept grabbing you. It was very difficult. They had to go back and change it. They had to edit it into the game because it was so scary and so long that people stopped playing the game, and people sold their game back because they couldn't finish it. And so they changed it. It was only they changed it to like a 15 to 30 minute segment to where, and you could skip it if you wanted to. But I remember the first time I played it, I was so mad. I was rage quitting because I was just like, this is not the game I wanted to play. I wanted a Final Fantasy game. I don't like scary.
Someone put scary in my Final Fantasy. I don't like it. I guess I don't remember that section, and I got that game when it released too. So I guess it's
no, I did not. I did not like that section.
Man, so for some strange reason, I've never played this game, but this game popped up to my brain. Would be another example of a good jump scary type thing. But Five Nights at Freddy's, have y'all played this?
No, I have played it a little bit, but I've watched Hayden and my girls play it. And they don't play it anymore, and probably for good reason. But I mean, they try to talk me in to go see the movie, and I haven't watched the movie, and nor do I plan to.
Nope.
There's just something about toys and scary movies.
Me, yeah.
It's like Child's Play,
Child's
and
Play.
some of those that comes to mind. But
and I already didn't like Chuck E. Cheese, so I don't need another reason to.
Right?
Yeah, toys and movies that are evil and toys and games that are evil are no goes for me. Yeah, so and Five Nights at Freddy's, I've seen people play it, and when they pop out on the screen, that would scare the bejesus out of me. And I'm not even the one playing it. It's just I don't, whatever. So yeah, for me, it's lights are on, and my wife needs to be home and during the day. And I need to have my security blanket.
No shame in that.
I need my security blanket.
And I've got to watch some cartoons afterwards.
Right.
And honestly, I'm just that way with horror movies now anyway. So
I don't watch them. Nope.
Jeez. So, so do you watch anybody on like the YouTube or the Twitch play scary games?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If I'm being honest, I'm more likely to watch someone else play a scary game than dive into it myself. I'm just going to be real.
Yes.
Just make it fun because you get the jump scares without the stress.
Exactly.
Watching YouTubers like Markiplier and Jacksepticeye and those guys, if you remember those guys, they're still doing it. I haven't watched them in a long time, but watching them play the horror games or just games in general, is sometimes better than playing the game itself. And I never understood it because Hayden used to do that all the time. I'd come in and like, what you watching on YouTube? Oh, I'm watching so and so play the game. Well, why don't you play the game? Well, it's more fun. And I never understood that until I actually.
So you did it.
I definitely don't want to watch someone playing a game that I really want to play. Because I don't want anything. I don't want to be spoiled. But you get to laugh at their reactions because like Markiplier, that dude was so funny. And you're experiencing it together. Plus it became my own entertainment genre. Something oddly comforting about watching someone else freak out. You can respect the tension, and the design of the game without meddling and needing therapy after,
And you can be like that person in the theater. No, you don't want to do that. You don't want to do that.
And sometimes it's like, when you're watching a movie on Netflix, a scary movie, where you know this moment is about to be bad, where you can just fast forward. You just, and all that kind of goes together. Watch them on YouTube. You can fast forward. You can just get through it and go, okay, oh, well, so-and-so died. Oh, how about that? And then you just move on to the next, section of the movie or the game.
Well, and it's the same thing when they started doing the remakes of Resident Evil games. They started putting them in third person, and like, there's a whole big debate about like, does it take away from the thrill and the scare from doing it in third person? And I think it does. I mean, when you're in first person, it's happening to you. When you're in third person, it's happening to somebody else. So are those things still scary? Sure, but they're not as bad because, I can see that happening to somebody else. First person, it's you, and it's nope.
I don't know if I fit in that same camp or not. I think when it comes down to it, if I had to pick one, if I wanted the scariest experience, yes, first person, because that's me. That's happening to me. I can envision it happening to me. But I still think that it can, if done correctly, third person can be scary. I'm
not going to play the Resident Evil.
Still not going to play the game. So it doesn't matter.
And it's funny that you mentioned that because they interviewed the director for Resident Evil Requiem because they have the option in that game where you can play it either in first person or in third person, and you can switch it at any time. And he was asked if that would, if giving the players the choice of switching perspectives, if that's going to take away from the experience. And he said, no, because of the way our creative team is approaching it, we've made sure that no matter what perspective that you choose to approach this game, that you're still going to get that same horror, that horror experience, those same scares and things like that. But it has to be done in a certain way, like, a little more
that's
creative
a no
thought.
for me.
Oh no, I'll definitely be watching that one. Yeah. It's fine. So cool. Definitely watch YouTubers or my Twitch streamers play scary games for sure. So moving on to our next topic, which I've titled creatively, "It Came from the Future." Spooky games coming out in the near future. Do you know of any? And what do we think about them? We're never going to play them, but do we think we'll watch our favorite X, Y, or Z YouTuber, Twitch streamer play them, or kind of follow them a little bit? And if I'll just jump in for mine. Resident Evil Requiem, because that just has my interest peaked, and then Halloween, because that just looks super cool, and it's another one of those Dead by Daylight games, but I'm excited to see how they can reinvent this genre and just how cool it could be, and just how much of the Halloween experience we can get from it. What do y'all say?
Well, I think the real question is, can spooky games keep reinventing themselves, or are we just replaying the same haunted house with better wallpaper? Because every Dead Space remake, because you brought that up, that gets it right, there's going to be a dozen generic jump scare clones that just fade away. I think blending genres might be the key, like survival horror mixed with mystery or sci-fi. The Alan Wake series comes to mind. I don't know if you guys have played those.
I forgot.
Yep. Alan Wake 2, I would say, is a good example. It's not pure horror, but it builds dread through storytelling and the atmosphere instead of just, cheap tricks. What horror needs to do is just keep surprising us. I think it makes us think we know what's coming. Then there's a twist, and that's when it sticks with you. I think there needs to be some originality and creativity to keep the genre alive.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think you're exactly right. It's real easy to make your run-of-the-mill spooky game or scary game. It's real easy to do that. Just copy and paste everything, But if you really want to stand out, how do you reinvent? How do you genre blend? How do you put a new twist on an old lemon and all that stuff? So I'm excited to see if any of these guys that have things in development can actually pull that off. Are there any licenses like that are out there that you hope are turned into a game in the future?
Yeah, I've got several.
Let's hear 'em.
That I had to do a little bit of research on some of these to see if they are actually in the works or not. And I don't think they are, but if I could greenlight a spooky game tomorrow, I think I'd go straight for the jugular with Stranger Things.
Okay. Actually, they have it. It's called The Quarry.
Okay.
It's been out for a while.
Okay, no, wait. I have played that game.
I forgot about The Quarry.
I want to talk more about that later.
Okay.
I do think a Stranger Things license, it's built for it.
Yeah.
It's got the nostalgia. It's got the monsters. It's got the synth soundtrack, which I love. Perfect blend of story and scares. Or give me a Twilight Zone anthology game. Okay. Now this is out there.
Awesome.
This is out there because there's all of the Twilight Zone episodes, they're not related in any way. So you would have to be real choosy as to which direction you went there. Every episode could be like a new mind-bending horror story with twists. Like Until Dawn, maybe, but it meets Black Mirror. I don't know if you guys have ever watched the series Black Mirror. Something in that realm. Honestly, someone needs to bring back Ghostbusters. I know I brought that up already, but a co-op horror comedy game, and almost make it animated a little bit, where it's graphical, where it's digitized a little bit. I don't care if it's realistic or not. But imagine, you busting ghosts with real physics, better graphic quality with the what were the guns called? The
photon
packs.
Photon beam.
Is that what?
Photon packs. Proton packs.
Then you get the haunted AI interactions, and maybe some online friends can jump in and maybe make that multiplayer. That could be fun. And then while we're dreaming, this is stupid. Scooby-Doo. Man, what do you think about a Scooby-Doo horror game for adults?
Let's get it.
Like, it could be dumb, but keep the charm. Crank out the suspense.
They did have a Scooby-Doo platformer in early 2000s.
But something, next gen, I'd play that instantly.
Oh, yeah.
So there's my few.
It's the Proton Pack, by the way, Jared,
Proton Pack.
if you want to keep laughing at me.
Protein Pack, is that what you said?
Yes, Protein. I hate you so much. Oh, that's odd. Yeah, those would be great picks.
Yeah.
They probably won't happen. I mean, I don't know why it wouldn't, because Stranger Things would. I mean, it's just more money. Who wouldn't want to play a Stranger Things game? I mean, maybe not Jarrett, but I would love it. It could be fun. It doesn't have to be horror. I mean, but maybe,
honestly, if they did more, like, have y'all ever played the Telltale series? Any of the Telltale games?
Yeah.
If they did something Telltale games, I would love that.
It's like choose your own adventure.
It's exactly what it is
for video games.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, they're fantastic. They got the Borderlands Telltale games. They've got Wolfenstein or whatever it is.
The Walking Dead.
Among Us.
The Walking
Dead. Game of Thrones is
They're
on
really
there.
good. They're really good.
Yeah.
I completely forgot about the Walking Dead Telltale games.
Yeah.
God, that's
I think
so good.
if they did, I think if anybody did it, and I would actually play it. If Telltale did the Stranger Things game, I would play it.
And what happened to those guys? Do they make Telltale games anymore? Did that just die?
Yeah, they're still making
that
them.
studio's still active.
Yeah,
I think
They're-
they haven't
they're
released
making
anything in a
stuff right
long
now.
time though. Make a game set in the Child's Play universe. Make a Child's Play game, and I don't mean like the newer the amount of times they beat that dead horse. I'm talking about like the OG trilogy, like back when it was like truly horrifying and like just do.
Are you talking about like a
that.
playground, like just to like an open-ended universe, or
No, like I don't know. Words are hard. Just like make the first movie into a game.
okay?
And you know what I'm saying? And like have to get away, and like you can't kill them. And so like you're having to survive and all this other stuff. Like do something like that. I would never touch that with a 50-foot pole. I wouldn't play it on Jarrett's PS5, but like just that would be terrifying, honestly.
So apparently there was a game that came out on iOS, because I looked it up while you were sitting there, because I know that was what Jarrett was doing while I was talking about that. It's like, hey, wait, there's games. Check it out. Slash and Dash.
No, thank you. No, thank you. All right.
that like-
But you're talking
is that like-
serious. It's probably funny. I have not played the game. It's probably
Is it
just
like Crazy Taxi except with Chucky?
I don't know. It's on your phone. We can only be so good.
It's the temple run for horror games. Love that.
It's kind of like where
Honestly,
they
that's
got
what the gameplay says. It's runners. It's endless runners a la Temple Run.
It's the equivalent of dressing up your dog in a Chucky outfit, and it starts running at you with the little
Oh my
knife.
God, no. I've seen videos of that. That's so terrible. We're moving on. We're changing the subject now. That's terrible. God, yeah, do something like that. There was another thought I had too, and I can't think of it. But man, the potential is there to really kind of like bring this stuff and make it popular again, but you just have to reinvent it in the right way. You have to really approach it in the right way. And I think it's going to be interesting to see what they do with it. So, of course, you know, we're family men, right? And Jarrett and I with, you know, newborns and things like that. And we obviously can't play games like this in front of our children. So are there any spooky games that are more family friendly that you could probably play with your child when they get a little bit older, when they start venturing into the horrors of gaming and the spookiness? Is there like spooky games that are more family oriented?
Yeah, I think this is where like I can actually I can play these games, you know, something that's meant to have tiny scares, or almost it's satirical because they're making fun of jump scares, or they're making fun of it, you know. And I listed out a few, you know, like Luigi's Mansion. They're on like Luigi's number like 4 or something like that. That's like Luigi becomes a Ghostbuster. I mean, they're so fun, and they're so fun, and it's funny to watch him get scared out of his mind with these cartoon ghosts. So I mean, that's a great one.
Isn't his little proton pack like a vacuum cleaner or something?
It is literally a vacuum cleaner.
Is it really? That's amazing.
Yes. And then you've got like Costume Quest. If you've never played Costume Quest, it's kind of like an RPG element kind of game. You walk around, you collect candy, and then you get into these like real time events, or these battle scenes, and you can change your outfit, you can change your costume, and whatever costume you're wearing changes what abilities you have. But you can get in, and it's what is it called? It's like a strategy game, but it's where it's kind of like Final Fantasy, where you do one person at a time. What's it called?
Turn-based?
Turn-based. It's turn-based.
Yeah.
So you have like turn-based attacks and stuff like that. So that's a really fun game. And it's like these just little kids walking around, at Halloween, and they're going around the town collecting candy and fighting off little things and collecting costumes. So it's a really cute game. And then I don't know how y'all feel. Have y'all seen the Little Nightmares? They've got the new Little Nightmares 3 that's coming out.
I was just about to bring that up.
I've never played them. I've seen them. I've never played
I don't
them.
know if that would be considered cozy or if that's true horror, because I played Little Nightmares 2 and it scared the crap out of me, but I'm also just a child, so
from what I've heard, 2 is much scarier than and I think it's a prequel, right, to the first one.
I have no clue,
but I think the first one is doable. I think,
but it looks so cute.
Yeah.
Now the third one looks really cool and it's really good, but it's like this kind of twisted carnival, and I mean it looks really good, but it's that Tim Burton kind of art style.
Very much. Yep.
Very twisted, very grays, a lot of blacks, a lot of not a lot of color, a lot of like really like downpour atmosphere, and so I don't know, like I want to play it, but at the same time, like it may be too much for me.
Right. Interesting. Yeah, I didn't even think about Little Nightmares. What else did you have here?
Well, and then of course you've got all your Halloween episodes of the newest renditions of like Animal Crossing they change with the seasons. So you got the Halloween series where you get new outfits, or you get pumpkins and fall everywhere, or you get the Sims where you could do like the Dracula outfits and the costumes and stuff like that. So,
and they have like
spooky, but not scary.
Yeah, it's just like cute little special event things that go on for the month or whatever. You get to collect things that are unique to that particular season. And a lot of mobile games do that. Like they just have like, and it changes with the seasons, but like they have Halloween themed things so you can complete tasks and do things to earn Halloween themed cosmetics or items or anything like that. Like they're doing that in Yahtzee right now. We play Yahtzee mobile with myself and my wife, and that's kind of fun. You get Halloween themed dice for completing, tasks and things like that. So, I mean, there's lots of cute little things that you can do with your child, probably. Things like that.
If we're just talking spooky, if we're getting away from horror, I think you remember the Plants vs. Zombies games?
Yeah.
Yes, I mean, those are awesome.
It's not horror.
Right.
And there was another one too, because I wanted to think about some of these that I've played. Castlevania, I brought that up earlier. That's not a horror game. It's spooky, I guess.
It's spooky.
Yeah,
I think young children can play that.
Ghosts and Goblins.
Ghosts and Goblins. Yep.
Have y'all ever played? It's called Medieval Quest.
You talking about the one with where you play as the skeleton?
The skeleton, yeah.
Medieval, yeah. That's a good
Medieval,
one.
That's a good one.
That is a good
There's
one.
another one called like Pumpkin King or something like that, where it's very similar to that kind of style. It's very quirky, very funny. It's cartoonish enough, but it's centered around spooky season and spooky concepts like gargoyles and zombies and skeletons. But it's not. I wouldn't call it scary or horror in any way, shape, or form.
The Kingdom Hearts games have at least in all of the games I think that I've played, at least they have the what is that movie, Nightmare Before Christmas themed world that you can go to, and when you land on the planet, like you're in the garb that they
Halloween
wear
Town.
for that movie. Yeah, in Halloween Town, you get to hang out with Jack Skellington and go do quests and complete his story against Oogie Boogie and things like that. So I mean, that's cutesy. It's not horror. It's just nice and animated spooky for the children. That's fun, family friendly. Man, there's I feel like there's a lot of little examples. And now they're all escaping me. But no, we covered a lot. Luigi's Mansion.
Anyway, I'll play those games. I'm not playing scary horror games. I'll watch somebody play them like we've talked about. But now these other spooky kind of games, I'll play. I think they're hilarious. I think they're great and a lot of fun. But I'm definitely not playing.
Even a lot of the games now, like that have a multiplayer component, often do like Halloween themed stuff for the season. Like Fortnite usually has Halloween crossover stuff, or like Call of Duty, which is when they do it, it's just kind of dumb because they'll pull in like the slasher stuff, like you can wear as a costume and go, but that just looks stupid to me. But nevertheless, it's there. But like Fortnite, you know, has all these cool little crossovers, and they usually do something with Halloween stuff and, you know, different things like that. So anyway, think that's a nice little table setting for stuff if you're looking for something family oriented to do with your little ones. So anything else we want to add to this overall topic?
No.
Y'all have any special plans for Halloween with the family and the kiddos?
Well, you know it. I mean, so while I'll be out at a football game with the band, because of course Halloween always seems to land on a busy band night, Jessica and the girls will be holding down the fort at home. They've got a plan. So they're going to hand out candy, take down all the Halloween decorations, and start swapping everything out for Christmas.
This is flying by Thanksgiving.
Right. Yeah. While they're handing out candy, Chris, they're going to do it while one's handing out candy, the other one's taking stuff down. Yeah, no, spooky season 1 minute, Mariah Carey the next, you know? So, I mean, here we are. It's kind of our thing, though. Our philosophy's always been, if you're going to go to the trouble of putting Christmas stuff up, you might as well keep it up for a long time and enjoy it.
Yep.
I mean, if I'm going to get tangled in lights, it's not just for a couple of weeks.
Yep.
I don't know if I told you boys this, but I finally pulled my roof lights from Christmas down in March.
Right before I've done it Valentine's Day before, a long time ago.
That's good times. We usually we have some Halloween inflatables and some Halloween decorations and stuff that Nicole had made. And we usually decorate for Halloween, but we just didn't get around to doing it this year, with us being so busy, especially with Noah. We just never got around to doing it. So that was kind of sad, but the plan, I believe, is that she's going to post up here at the house. I don't know if my in-laws are coming over or not. They might. And we would like to dress the little boy up in something. I think we're still debating on a costume, but we're going to try to do a family costume.
Yeah.
And we were spitballing ideas. I think we were going to be Luigi and Mario, and we were going to dress him up as Toad. I want to say.
Yeah.
And there was something else too. I don't remember. But I think they're going to post up here and dress up and pass out candy, because we usually we live in kind of a neighborhood where we have some kids that do like to come around and get some stuff. And then after that it'll be decorating for Thanksgiving, because we don't skip Thanksgiving. I say that, and then we may start decorating for Christmas. I'm not sure.
Amen.
Maybe we dress up as Mariah Carey. Maybe we dress up as Mariah Carey.
And just go ahead and get started early.
Yep. She thaws out in 5 days.
In 5 days, boys.
New costume idea. What if you do Mariah Carey, but her feet are ice blocks?
Right. She's not completely
She's not
unfrozen.
quite there.
Yeah.
I love that, actually. That's actually pretty smart. Oh, my God. That's awesome.
That's good.
Well, so
Ronan's going to be Pikachu, and we were going to do the full Pokemon thing, and me be Ash and Ellen be Misty, but I'm doing a football game, and I think Ellen
same
just...
here.
So we got him, and that's the big thing. Last year he was an Ewok. This year he's Pikachu, and so it'll be a great time. Our neighborhood is fantastic. I mean, they'd take it to the nines. They're fancy. There's all kinds of cool, like, all decked out houses, and they'll be like, they've got the full size candy bars in our neighborhood. They've got, they've also got other treats and stuff like that. So it's not just for the kids too. So
sure.
There's all kinds of stuff in our neighborhood. So it's great. We don't even have to go very far. But again, I'll be with Jay, enjoying Halloween with Jay. So
yay.
we're going to dress up as band directors and try to scare some kids into.
We're all going to go as the same thing.
Oh my God! One of us has to change.
Okay, I'll be a hobbit. Let's do that.
Wait, you weren't that already?
Oh, yes.
You're not wrong.
Jeez. Yeah, that sucks. I won't be able to spend my kid's first Halloween with them, but it's part of the gig. So, It sounds like
do
fun.
that a lot with our kids. I mean, now that ours are grown, they don't. I mean, that's not. It's more about just handing out the candy now and the decorations for fall. We don't really do a whole lot of Halloween decorations, but I think that's what makes Halloween special for us now. It's less about spooky chaos and more about the transition into the holiday season. You know, one night you're surrounded by pumpkins and skeletons, and then next year you've got Garland and Bing Crosby. So it's like we're speed running the holidays. It's like, here we go, full speed ahead. So whether you're out trick or treating,
Well,
you know, I mean,
and
it's
Friday's also Ellen's birthday. So,
ooh,
she's a Halloween baby. So
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Interesting.
Okay.
Interesting.
So
Very,
she loves
very
Halloween and celebrates her birthday at the same time. So
Yeah, there you go. There you go. Our
Anyway.
neighborhood doesn't really do the whole decorating stuff. Now that I think about it, they're kind of lame. So,
I've been in those neighborhoods. They're all right, but it's really nice to be in a neighborhood that does.
Yeah.
But at the same time, everybody, like, don't leave your porch light on or people will start knocking on your door.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah.
That's a rule.
Yep.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, my mouse would wake up. That'd be great. So, obviously, we want our community's take on today's topic from tonight's episode. What are some of your favorite spooky games growing up or even now? Any particular scary moment that stays with you? What are some of your spooky game suggestions for those of us that are just getting into it or maybe haven't played as a horror game or a spooky game in a while or kind of on the fence of whether we want to do that or not? We'll drop your comments in our social media pages, in our video page, and Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. And do you have any special rules for gaming when it comes to horror? Any special gaming rituals or things that you must do before turning that sucker on? Boys, anything else you want to add?
A special shout out to the wives. Hopefully, maybe Jessica will join us at some point, and she can do a wife takeover. Join us next week as we dive into the future of Gaming Daddies. That will be our episode 10 discussion. We're going to kind of talk about what's worked, what hasn't, what we'd like to see from the future, and kind of take some community's takes about, kind of where the community has been like, hey, we really enjoyed this. We'd like to see more of this, and just kind of talk about the future Gaming Daddies and what that looks like for us, and what we'd like for you, or what y'all would like from Gaming Daddies. So, I mean, we enjoy doing it, and we'd like to keep doing it, and so just kind of see where it goes from there. So, all right, thanks for hanging out with us on today's spooky episode of Gaming Daddies. Ooh. Don't forget, you can catch the audio version of the podcast on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or wherever you get your podcasts. And if you want the full video version, head over to youtube.com/GamingDaddies and join the fun. If you'd like to support the show and help us take it to the next level, consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/GamingDaddies. Big shout out to our amazing supporter, Sean Donahue, still our lonely supporter. We'd love to have some more.
Much more.
You keep us going, and we couldn't do it without you. So until next time, have a safe and very happy and spooky Halloween. This has been Gaming Daddies, and we'll see you in the game.
Peace out, Cub Scouts.